I don't know anybody who doesn't enjoy eating blueberries. And in New England, blueberries are really all the rage. I've been picking blueberries with my family since I can remember. And I finally decided to grow my own blueberry orchard when I got my house here on the North Shore of Boston. You can see that these blueberries are just about ready to go, and some are make some good eating right now. But the crows are also aware, and the local birds are also aware of the blueberries every year. So I put netting up over them to protect them, because I'm a little bit selfish when it comes to fresh homegrown blueberries. Once my berry garden grew to a substantial size, it caught the attention of the local birds. So what I ended up doing is planting all these pressure-treated 4x4 posts and attaching these wires to them. You can see they run through the hole there on the post. So those would go all around you can see them here and here and over there, and just continuing all around where I have my fruit. So here I have strawberries, I've got raspberries over here, and I covered everything. But I noticed over time that the birds didn't really attack the raspberries or the strawberries. They mostly wanted the blueberries. So I started putting netting, which you see here on the ground, and I started throwing it up over the blueberries especially, because I am very particular about blueberries. I really enjoy them. In fact, we never freeze any blueberries. We never make any jam or jellies. We eat them all raw, and my family has enjoyed them for years. Every summer, when it's time to cover up the blueberries, I go into my milk crate and I have these little cement things that I've made them several years ago. And you can see I use some pretty instant cement, quick drying cement, and I put pieces of coat hanger in there. And then what I would do with these is, once I threw up the net, I would use these to weigh it down. So you can see on this side, I put up this piece of netting. Over on this side, I've got a lot of adjusting work to do, but you can see that I hang these and they will weigh it down to the ground, so that it keeps the netting tight. Now, stretching netting over this wire isn't physically difficult. The netting doesn't weigh anything, but it is very, very tedious and time consuming. So I won't bore you with how I do this, but essentially what I'm trying to do is create a box with a net that's upside down. So the floor is open, but the roof is covered. And to do that, I have to pull it tight. But netting's very delicate, so it can break easily, so you have to be careful. And as you do it, it can catch on the blueberry bushes, and it makes things a little difficult. So you have to be patient, and you have to take your time. And it takes a little bit of time. In the corners, I like to leave the corners open. So there's a cut in the net here, so it falls 7 feet on this side and 7 feet on this side over here. And that way, when I come up here, I can just open up the corner and get through. And you can see I have this weighted down with cement on one of my little homemade cement hooks. So if I want to get into the blueberry area, I can just open up this corner and close it behind me like that. So that works out fairly well. And I have to do that all the way around, and I have to do some cutting this time because I'm doing a smaller area and I have to cut off the excess netting. So it's going to take me a little while. I'll show you what it's like when it's done. This year I'm just going to put netting over the blueberry section of garden. I've stretched it out here over most of it. It's got some holes I need to repair, but I've got to cut off all the excess that was used to cover the rest of the garden over the years. And I'll use that as backup in case this section gets too holey over time, because the birds do have an effect on it over time. I understand what kind of patience it takes to be a fisherman and repair nets all day. Just cutting one up is difficult enough. And when you have a very thin black netting, which is basically invisible against a darker green background, it helps to have it against the brown grass, but also I can see it better against my skin. So while it may be more dangerous getting the knife close to me so many times, I think it's more accurate. And I can go right down the right line, albeit very slowly. Well, that's it for this project. The netting's up, the blueberries are protected from the crows and the other birds who would want to take them, and my family and I can enjoy them for the rest of the summer as long as they're here. I have 3 crops that come early, mid-season, and late season. The late season ones are these Chandler blueberries, which are absolutely huge. These will run about the size of a quarter. They're not quite there yet, but here's a bigger one right there. So you can see those are about regular sized blueberries, and that's a Chandler right there. Not quite ready, but it's getting close. Anyhow, I'm going to use some poles to push this net up in the center, so to give us some extra headroom. Until then, you can just walk and it'll slide above your head. The netting will slide on you as long as you don't have a baseball cap on with one of those little buttons at the top. That'll catch every time. But we're going to enjoy this blueberry patch for the rest of the summer, and that's today's project. So this is Scott for the X-Fed Homestead. Enjoy your blueberries this summer. We'll see you next time.